So our next speaker is the source of the original vision for the City of Zion community, which brought together the founders of NEX, a decentralized exchange project. So please help me in welcoming to the stage, Fabio Canison.
When we started City of Zion, I made a joke. I said, we're going to meet each other the first time in DevCon 1. And that was like absurd at the time. But now it's true, so it's amazing to be here. I'm glad for this amazing community. Yeah. Thank you to these guys here. You guys should later ask who is City of Zion. I'm sure there are many people here who receive and know these guys. They really deserve your praise. But I'm not here to talk this right now. We're going to have a workshop later about community, and we're going to present everybody. I'm talking about NEX. So people is treating NEX in a way that I will try to make you feel different about it today. NEX is not just a decentralized exchange. It's not a better exchange. We are trying to solve something that's much more subtle, which is trading crypto assets. So we do not call NEX a decentralized exchange. Yes, it's going to have an exchange, but it's a platform for complex decentralized trade. So I don't need to press this here for this audience. We know that crypto is booming, right? So when we published the white paper, 8 billion was the number that was there of volume. And this was like 2 months ago. It's now 70 billion. It's a 10x increasing. When I presented in New York this, I talked about 20% overnight growth, and that has kept going through these months. It's crazy. We're going to be bigger than the sun this time. Yeah. So what is NEX? NEX combines an off-chain matching engine to enable much faster and complex trades. Again, off-chain does not mean centralized. We do have a vision of decentralization in the future. So distributed, decentralized, but off-chain, off the blockchain matching engine, which can enable much higher performance and much more complex kinds of trade. We do have a roadmap, and this is going to reflect this evolution. But what we are trying to do with that, with NEX, is guiding through this revolution. If you go today and see how people interact with blockchain, how they trade the tokens, it's too complex. We are talking about block sizes. We are talking about transaction ID, hashes. We are talking about consensus algorithm, distributed Byzantine fault tolerance. Do you think your grandma gonna know that? Mine is not gonna know that. She's gonna ask when the dinner is ready, right? So we need to make things simpler. And NEX has this vision of making trading simpler. And for trade to be really simple, it needs to be decentralized. It needs to be free. It needs to allow the freedom of trade. So I'm going to show some examples later in the presentation that enlighten this, but I want you guys to have this in mind. So the fundamental workings of NEX. We have this off-chain matching engine, which is being developed in Elixir, which is a language that runs on the Erlang platform. The Erlang virtual machine has many niceties that allows us to do something that we want on the architecture, like having supervisors, really high performance. To be really high performance, to have the database in memory and do mutation in memory, then relay back to disks, all this fancy stuff that you guys in DevCon want to hear, right? We're gonna do a payment service creation. This is related with what Eric just presented, that there is a decoupling with the VM. So the UTXO model for the global assets is not really connected to the memory and the storage of the VM. So to access and manipulate the UTXO global assets, you need to have a workflow that's kind of like the two-phase commit you have in transactional databases. You can do this on a smart contract. And Tom, which is here, implemented a withdrawal process that shows that and publishes that. So we're going to implement this inside NEX. So all these things I said to you is simpler. So when you are doing your smart contract, you do a call to a NEX contract and say, trade this for this, please. I don't want to know about all these things. So this is allowing people to do easy payments with global assets. Global assets in NEO can represent many things, can represent houses, can represent planes, can represent this conference. So it's also a much more subtle thing. Then we have this long-term vision, which is not a product, it's a composition of our services, which I like to call it decentralized banking. Not everybody agree on this deal, but what I say here is, if you have freedom to trade, if you own your funds, why you need these legacy services, right? Why you use your thing? You use your banks to pay, you use your banks to invest, and you use your banks to save. So we want to allow you to do this in the decentralized way. So summarizing this thing is higher volume, high performance using the matching engine. This payment service is simplifying these complex transactional databases protocols, and we have this, by combining the two, we can do complex trades. Complex trades is simply something to, again, enable the ease of usage. So you want to do a market buy, right? You want to do a market sell. You do not want to try to look at an order table and get some order there and put your buy order on that. Then there is another resting order that comes on top and run in front of you, right? This is not what you want. You want to do a market, you want to do limit buys. Maybe you are hearing that, you say, I don't want to do a market buy. Yes, you do. When you go and buy something to eat, you are doing a market buy of this cake at the price that he has in this moment. So it's exactly the same thing for tokens. You have your gas, and you are doing something on the blockchain. You need another token. You want to do a market buy on that token, do whatever you want to do. You do not want to look at the order book to do that. So we have a roadmap. We started by publishing smart contracts, and we already did that on Q4 for the ICO template. And on NeoPython, there's many of the technologies that's going to be on NEX. They're already open source for that. So it's very simple. Go to NeoPython or BOA, tests. There's lots of examples in your smart contract there. Read that stuff. You can really go very far from that. But why we are doing that? We want to elevate new ecosystems. So we are born from this community. So we want to give back to that. Our smart contract ICO, it has an enforced KYC on the smart contract, automated refunds, all these things that we have seen as problems for some projects doing sales right now in NEO. You probably was concerned for some ICOs that say, oh, just sending to this address. Yes, you want to enable the community to not need to do that. Then we're gonna also have our own ICO platform where you can register this KYC and all the info that you need. And we're gonna open source this also. So this is on the Q1, so until March, where we are living right now. We're gonna open source these platforms so other projects doing their sale can use our ICO smart contract, can use our user registration process, and do not have the fear that they are missing somewhere, because by being open source, we have many eyes. And it's not because we are better than anyone, but having many eyes makes things much more secure. Security by obscurity is something that's really hard to make it working in blockchain. Then on Q2, we have the payment service launch, which means some of these integrations with fiat are planned for that. After that, on the same Q3, on the same quarter of the year, we have the trading MVP. Do not expect us to deliver trade view for you guys. Again, we are trying to make things simple. What we want to do is have this nice UI that you can do trades and use some kind of charting. But to enable the professionals out there and to enable the liquidity that we make, we're going to be providing APIs on that. And these APIs, you can use TradeView, you can use your algorithm matching, you can use your market making programs. We want to enable this liquidity on the platform, on the decentralized platform. And At the end of the year, we have a plan to do cross-chain. By having this matching engine being off-chain, we have something intermediary that communicates with the chain. We can do a step further and communicate with another chain, which in this case is Ethereum. I don't know if in the end of the year is going to be another because things change very fast, but it could be any other. And we can use the off-chain matching engine as a bridge between these chains. Also, by being off-chain matching engine and providing a service, a platform for users, we can integrate with pools of liquidities. So we can use different protocols for decentralized exchanges for OTC trading and consume the APIs and provide to the user while operating on the other protocols. So we can integrate with 0x, Kyber, Loopring, all these other protocols and really have this service to the users. Decentralized banking is something that's going to appear with time. So by launching each of these services, all these small components, in the end, we want to enable this vision where someday you say, I just need my bank to buy crypto. That's all, to hold the fiat that I earn. And we hope that in the near future, you earn in crypto and you can own all your assets. We do have a token for NEX, for the decentralized exchange, and it has a staking feature where the fees collected in NEX system are given a portion to the people that hold NEX. So again, it's a thing about giving back to the community. So 50% of all these tokens is going to be on the public sale, and we are doing limited sell on this, like it's 25 million. We do not want to go higher than that. It's going to be just that. We know there is going to be a rush for this, but we really want to have the most people we can on there. Yeah, so the big part, right? So we love developers. So we want to provide open source. We want to provide APIs to power people to build stuff. That's our goal with NEX. So we start this by releasing our open source template. Something, yeah. Okay. We start this by open source template, which is a DApp for buying and selling crypto for fiat. So if you are here in this conference and you live in whatever country, and you want to sell and buy crypto with money, you can go to NEX GitHub, download that, run in your server, that's it. But this is a DApp, and what makes this a DApp is interaction with blockchain. But then you say, well, if you are enable this, you are reproducing all these issues that going to be many people holding token for others. So we're going to provide an extension, and this extension interacts with the dApps. So it's a browser extension that enables this vision for fiat integration. So imagine something like Coinbase distributed. Anyone can run a small company that acts like a Coinbase, and you do not need to hold the funds of your users. They hold it because they have the extension. So here is an example when you are in a page and you want to buy something using some token. In this case, it's a merchandise store for City of Zion. The user wanted to buy, but he didn't have it. So he clicked there, purchase gas, because I need gas to do this operation. Then we detected that he is in US, and by being US, we have this provider there, please enter your details and buy it. So the experience is seamless. He do not need to prepare 1 week before. So I always ask this. People invest in blockchain, but have you guys tried to use the app? I urge you, everyone here, to try to use the app. If you want to do a prediction in a prediction market today, you need to prepare 1 week before. You buy Bitcoin, wait 1 week, it arrives in your wallet. Then you transfer to Binance. It's trade for your prediction market token. Then you trade back to your wallet. Then you trade to MetaMask. Now you use your prediction. So if you wanted to predict something that's happening in 1 week, you can't. You didn't plan ahead. It's crazy. Our vision is you are in the dApp, you want to use the feature, you click use, and you say you don't have this token. Buy at market price on the decentralized exchange. More than that, by having this, we are deploying a smart contract to the blockchain where we can do intermediary trades. So it's like the same trade, but it's not matched by the matching engine. It's where you can create a request for payment. So you go there, you select some of your contacts, and you say, please send me this. Whatever token, right? A token that operates on NEX. Then you send your request, the other user is gonna receive. So the last window here by the right, you can look, has a Andrew Peters requested this amount for you. Maybe you don't have this token. Doesn't matter. If you have balance, you can trade at market and deliver what he requested for you. We have now a demo of showing how this interaction with the fiat provider is gonna be done. So first here is using encrypted local key that's encrypted in my place. So we have an easy username, password, workflow, like people is familiar with that, not a string of 260 bits or whatever. So you log in with the extension, so the provider does not need to keep the funds. We do the transaction, you buy your amount. It's being processed, the page refreshes. You can sell also. If you are selling, then you have the extension is triggered, the next extension is triggered, and you allow the trade. You say confirm. And that's it. You buy and sell crypto without having centralized funds. This is not distant feature. We're going to release both the template and the extension beta for developers March 1st. We love developers. We love so much developers that we're going to have a workshop teaching how to do this hands to hand. We're going to be there in person. Go there. We teach you how to deploy these things, what's in there, how this contract is running. We really want to get this community doing something different in blockchain, doing something that's useful, something that's on day-to-day of people, not only speculation. You want the real users. Thank you.